Hello, I am the real-life fake wizard. The Switch 2 was released almost 2 months ago. How are things looking today? Nintendo just announced that the Switch 2 is selling faster than the Switch 1 in its native country of Japan, beating the PlayStation 2 with most consoles sold in the first month of release. PlayStation 2 cleared 1.13 million units in its first month in Japan, while the Switch 2 now has sold 1.53 million. This news comes off the back of a supposed leak that the Switch 2 sold 5 million units globally and is the fastest selling console of all time, clearing 3.5 million units around the world in its first 4 days. But I'm the fake wizard, and I've criticized Nintendo and their business practices quite a bit. A moment ago, I said that the Switch 2 beat a PlayStation 2 sales record in Japan. Well, did you know that the console is priced differently in Japan? Yeah, the region-locked console that only reads in Japanese costs almost 50,000 yen, or $339 US. That's a massive difference considering the multi-language consoles shipped around the world start at $450 here in the United States. And that doesn't include any games. Switch 2 sold 5 million units. Well, again, that's actually unconfirmed as of this point. Could they have? Absolutely. And it's likely. But that 5 million number was a forecasted number that got leaked. It's not an actual fact, and yet I might be one of like 5 channels that would tell you that. The Access Media ran with that 5 million number, and they never really corrected it. There is so much going on with this console release. The increase of games to $80, the paid DLC upgrade packs, the cost of the Joy-Cons that will get stick drift eventually, the game key cards that don't have the full games on the physical cards, the fact that Nintendo could and will brick your console if they believed you were engaging in foul play, the short battery life, the pay-to-play button on the remotes, the lawsuits with competitors, the silencing of media preservation, and of course, the fact that this crap is all super expensive. Look, I know I'm just one guy that has a very low tolerance for megacorporation greed. Nintendo, the 6th richest company in Japan, spent a decade fostering goodwill with gamers, families, and normies all over the world. It was expensive, but you could rely on Nintendo to deliver very good family fun products. And over the last 4 months, that goodwill, at least for me, has been entirely eroded. But I'm just one data point. I'm one fake wizard. But I want to know, do other people feel the same? Do other gamers feel as slimy about this whole situation as I do? I believe that Nintendo and all the AAA corporations are increasing their prices but not delivering more value for more money. And I think it's time to find out if there are others that feel the same way. I think it's time to ask gamers how they really feel. And as it happens, I was invited to attend the Southeast Game Exchange as the real-life fake wizard. But instead, I went undercover with fake wizard news. The Southeast Game Exchange is a yearly convention in Greenville, South Carolina, where gamers, nerds, and superfans congregate to, well, I would say celebrate gaming. This event features a massive marketplace where folks can find everything from classic retro games all the way up to standees that were, well, just released a few weeks ago. But unlike other Comic-Cons and expos, Siege has this fun focus on actually playing games. There's an entire quadrant of the show floor that's dedicated to simulator, competitive, and arcade games, giving gamers young and old the chance to find experiences that can seldom be found elsewhere. But don't take my word for it. What does the local Greenville News have to say?
Carolina's largest video gaming expo drew thousands over the weekend in Greenville. The Greenville Convention Center was transformed into a gamer's paradise. This was the 9th annual Southeast Game Exchange. Hundreds of vendors were there along with gaming content creators. There were also famous voice actors from games including Donkey Kong, Resident Evil, and Tomb Raider.
What we miss out on is the stuff from the past, and that is something you're seeing at a show like this, is all the retro games that many of the people here grew up on, and frankly, the kids of today deserve to grow up on. So it's nice to see that preservation of media that shows like this are bringing. I don't know, I think that guy was really on the money. Shows and conventions like this are important because of that media preservation conversation. The games of the past defined generations of creativity and storytelling. We should be able to not only relive those experiences time and again, but also make sure that those pieces of art are able to last many more lifetimes. This is an important point because, well, companies like Nintendo are ruthless in their litigious pursuit in removing ROMs, ports, and emulators off the internet, meaning that sometimes the only way to play these old games is to acquire the technology that is decades old, hoping that it still works, and then acquire the old discs and hope that they still work as well. For reasons like this and more, games that were $50 at launch could cost several $100s now in the current day. I point all of this out not to say that playing old games should be free or anything like that, but there should be places of accessibility to play those old games. They should be accessible. It's for reasons like this the Southeast Game Exchange and conventions like it are crucial to the survival of physical media. But we're undercover here, aren't we? We're here to ask gamers about their thoughts on the Nintendo Switch 2. Did they buy it? Yes or no?
No.
I did not.
No, I did not either, yeah.
I'm afraid I didn't buy a set.
No.
No, I did not.
No.
Did you buy a Nintendo Switch 2?
No.
Of course not. Why would I buy? What?
I did not buy a Nintendo Switch 2. I don't even know what that is.
No.
No, sir?
No.
No.
Pikachu, did you buy a Switch 2?
No.
You didn't?
No.
Well then you are the receiver of this badge which says did not buy a Switch 2.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay? Why?
You're not buying a hard copy. If you go buy one of the plastic cards, you're just buying a digital key, and there's just not a lot of games out for it. And lastly, it just doesn't feel like it's worth a $500 for a small upgrade.
There's just not a lot of variety so far. I was looking through the, say, 20, 30, 40 options they had so far. Nothing really jumped out at me at present.
Money and game selection at the moment?
Really?
No.
So there's no games on the Switch 2 that are worth your time or your...
No.
Because
Too expensive.
It's so expensive.
I don't think the games are there yet. Mario Kart World looks nice, but it's a lot of money.
It doesn't even feel like a successor to the original Switch. It feels like a Switch Pro.
It's just a lot of money, and it doesn't really seem like there's that much of a difference from the first Switch.
I think the hype around it was a little bit too much.
The hype around it is too much?
Compared to what you're getting in the system, yeah.
I was saving money for this.
Clearly, people feel similarly to me. The prices are too steep, not enough games on launch, the game keycard thing is a point of contention. It's all these big things. Normal gamers, regular folks, have recognized all these critical problems that Nintendo has created. Not even necessarily because of videos like mine or from watching social media. In a lot of ways, it's just from listening to what Nintendo is saying. People are listening, people are watching, and of course they are. But we interviewed a lot of people. Surely there were some folks who did buy it, right?
Did you buy a Nintendo Switch 2?
I did.
I did.
Did you buy a Nintendo Switch 2?
Opening night, yeah.
So you both each got the Switch 2?
Yeah.
So that's 2 Switch 2s.
I actually did.
You did?
Yeah.
When did you get it?
On release?
I did.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, on lunch.
Did you buy the Nintendo Switch 2?
I did. I waited outside for 7 days at the Nintendo New York store for it.
For 7 days.
I filmed it.
And you filmed it?
I filmed it.
Where can we see that?
It's on my YouTube channel.
No.
Yes, you did. He did buy one.
Yes, I did.
Oh, you are caught red-handed.
Of course people bought the Switch 2. But as we play this out, of all the people we interviewed, the buyers can be narrowed down to 3 clear segments. Business owners, content creators, and die-hard Nintendo fans. Business owners have shops, they run competitions, they have customers they need to entertain. Content creators, well, it's also their job. They have viewers to entertain, but they also have viewers to educate, to showcase what this console does to their audience. Then we get to the diehard fans. These are people who, well, you know what? Let's see exactly why some of them bought it in their own words.
Mario Kart.
I have one of the largest Mario collections in the United States.
Did you get the Switch 2?
Just for Dust Bloods.
Just for Dustblood.
Yeah.
Kart World separately because I want a physical copy.
Gotcha. So physical is important?
Yes.
If other people are going to be out there buying it, and I mean, you know, the pressure of having other people who are going to have it and me not have it is just standard business.
It is standard business. That last one translates to fear of missing out, or FOMO. We hear a lot about FOMO lately because nearly every megacorporation has used FOMO to hijack the perceptions of their customers for monetary gain. The fear of missing out is a business tactic that exploits consumers' psychological aversion to missing opportunities by creating artificial urgency and exclusivity to drive immediate purchases and boost sales. And this tactic, which has been used to hijack the overall economic relationship between buyers and sellers, is taught in universities and schools all over the globe. Fear of missing out is a manipulation strategy that plays on negative emotions like anxiety, fear, and scarcity. It leads you to make impulse decisions that often result in buyer's remorse and financial strains. No one likes to feel like they're missing out. It's not a nice feeling. And companies create strategies and position their products in ways to make you feel like if you don't have this thing, your life means a little less. And you'll feel sad watching those around you enjoy the thing without you. Nintendo isn't the only one doing this. Apple, Microsoft, Sony, all the video game companies, all the car companies, all the live entertainment companies, Nike, companies like Nike, all the fashion companies, the cosmetic industry, the news agencies. I mean, literally, physically, actually, every major company today engages in the FOMO strategy. All of them. All of them do it. And I kind of think it's time to start calling it out. It's time for us to start saying, that's FOMO, that's FOMO, that's FOMO. Identify it, and then perhaps, maybe we all need to start walking away when companies use FOMO. Fear of missing out is meant to make you think your life is worth a little less without spending your money on their junk. But guess what? 98% of those transactions would be wants and not needs. You don't actually need all those things to live a satisfying life. And really, this whole discussion about FOMO is not really about that clip or that interview directly. I'm not attacking those dudes at all. I'm attacking megacorporations who use this strategy to make us think we're missing out. And with that, what else did gamers say?
Did $80 games impact your decision at all?
For me, I was like, someone was going to do it at some point. Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo just happened to do it first, just with the inflation and stuff.
Okay, so this is actually a comment that I get on a lot of my videos. Nintendo just did it first. Sony and Microsoft were going to do it at some point. Yes. Yes, they were. You're 100% correct. Does that make it okay? All three of these rich-ass companies are wrong to do so. Microsoft is the richest company in the world. Sony is the 120th largest company in the world, but it's the third richest in its domestic country of Japan. And Nintendo is the 6th richest company in Japan. These companies have billions and billions and billions of dollars, and we are experiencing an economic event where these rich-ass companies are raising their prices despite guaranteeing raise in delivered value. This is an important point. Mario Kart World comes out at $80 and changes gaming forever. Sure, Doug Bowser said they're instituting some kind of bogus variable pricing strategy, but they never gave clear, definitive expectations as to why this game was worth $20 more than its predecessor. And when asked if they bought this game and they thought it was worth $80, here's what some of the buyers had to say.
Would you say it's worth $80 for Mario Kart?
No, I wouldn't say so.
I am mad about that.
So if it's got Mario on it, any dollar's fine.
Yep. Now that I've played the game, probably not worth 80. Like maybe I probably would have paid 70.
I don't think that's a good thing. It's too high. Yeah.
Look, these are just a few data points. I can't help but imagine that these and more are the emotions of many of the people who bought Mario Kart. a game that did not promise more value for more money. And now those buyers are sending mixed signals to people like me who are trying to study this. I don't blame the buyers for any of this. I blame Nintendo. Now wait, if I'm not mistaken, didn't one of my bros in there say something about inflation?
With the inflation and stuff.
Okay, so inflation as a means to justify the rising prices of games, well, it's increasingly debatable. And I think it's just not true. You see, inflation, or simply the increasing of prices for goods and services, is often portrayed by megacorporations as an unavoidable force driven by factors like supply chain, wage growth, current economic factors, and of course, evolving economic conditions. But over the last 5 years, we've learned that most of these claims, at least in the last 5 years, have been complete lies. Inflation is largely a myth perpetuated to mask corporate profiteering. Companies are deliberately hiking prices far beyond any justifiable cost increases and pocketing record profits at the expense of consumers. We are not experiencing inflation. We are experiencing greedflation. This is a massive discussion that far supersedes just video games, okay? Like, this is everything. This is all of them. But let's just focus on entertainment companies and gaming for right now. Despite claims of rising production costs, the gaming industry's profits have exploded. In FY 2024, Microsoft gaming revenue surged 39%, with a 61% jump in Xbox content and service sales. Sony's gaming services reported 4.6 trillion yen, or $31.5 billion in revenue for FY 2024. That's a 9% increase year over year. Considering all of Sony's businesses, they saw an operating profit increase of 43%, leading to $2.8 billion. Nintendo, even though it's a transitional year from Switch 1 to Switch 2, is still forecasting a 13% profit rise to 320 billion yen in the next fiscal year, fueled by the Switch 2 launch. I know this all seems like a lot of math and statistics, but I'm telling you, they all come together here because the figures of these three companies align with broader trends where global gaming revenue reached a 2% rise year over year in 2024. That's a 2% rise, and is projected to increase 3.4% this year in 2025. If inflation were the problem, we'd see proportional cost pass-throughs that we pay for with new games. Instead, we're continuing to see profits ballooning while gamers pay premiums for stagnant or diminished value. Microsoft, even in the midst of being the richest company in the world reporting record profits, is still laying off 9,000 people, with more layoffs on the way. So it doesn't matter if these companies are succeeding with profits or losing with losses. They're still laying off thousands of people as well. And I can hear you in the comments. Sure, development budgets have artificially ballooned, right? We're seeing crappy video games getting budgets of $100 to $300 million, but game prices held extremely steady from 2005 to 2020. Games were $60 for 15 years. Then they suddenly jumped to $70 in 2020 and now $80 in 2025. And that's just the United States. I don't know how you people play video games in other parts of the world. Those prices in Australia and Canada are disgusting. Now again, some of those budgets are $100 million, right? Well, yes, budgets have risen, but that pales against revenue growth. Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo's combined console revenue grew from under $50 billion in 2012 to a projected $83 billion by 2028. Revenue across PC and console game software, that means just the games alone, was $72 billion in 2024.
Thank you. Did you buy a Switch 2? I'll take that as a yes. Why would you support corporatism like that? Isn't that evil? Oh, you like video games? Mario Kart is that good, huh?
You know, you could really deep dive a lot on the core issues about gamers buying these expensive consoles. But it does come back to some people just wanted these games. Some people just want it, and when they want it, they're gonna buy it. At the Southeast Game Exchange, we interviewed 100 people That was our sample size in a location that was most likely to give us a solid response on the Switch 2 discussion. A gaming convention, even in a state that's not well known for having the highest household income, is still a place where you're going to find lots and lots of gamers who are willing to spend lots of money on games that they want. Buying games at a convention gets expensive real quick. Of that 100 people we interviewed, 68 of them did not buy the Switch 2, and 32 of them did. Of that, only 24 of them were buyers because they wanted to play the games. The remaining 8 were business owners or content creators, and yet, across all 100 people, could you believe they all had similar feelings on rising game prices?
As a whole, I do not think it is beneficial for the game industry.
I feel like most of the companies are just raking in the cash on that. Ain't no way, shape, or hell or form am I paying $80 for a video game. Unless it's Bloodborne 2 or Bloodborne 60 frames remake.
What the hell, Nintendo? What are they doing? Who's in charge? I miss Iwata.
I wish they weren't.
I wish they weren't, yeah.
They'd have to be a little better for $80 is what I'd say. You know, they're good, they're nice, but you know, if you're asking more, you gotta deliver more. That's what I think. So
are you a fan of $80 games?
No.
No one likes $80 games. Even the people who bought them. Even the people who would be willing to spend $100 or more just because it had Mario in it. In fact, there was a reoccurring theme that popped up that made me think we might be hitting a video game ceiling. And at that ceiling, well, I become a little concerned.
Depends on the game I want.
It really depends.
It depends on the type of game.
If it was like another Ocarina of Time, then maybe.
I think that absolutely. I would pay for it for him.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what game and the quality.
I think it would really have to depend on the game.
Would $80 stop you from buying games at all, you think?
Of course, yeah. It just depends on what the title is, honestly. For me,
so you would be willing to spend $80 for specific things?
GTA, that's coming out next year, for example, I'll drop $100 on that.
Is that where we're heading? People are just going to buy less games? Funny enough, they already are. Younger Americans are spending 25% less on video games in 2025 than in 2024. And nearly 30% of all gamers are expected to buy 0 new games in 2025. Titles like Fortnite, GTA Online, and Roblox now take up approximately 40% of players' total gaming hours. Nearly 70% of players spend time at least once a month with one of the 10 most popular live service games. This trend contrasts with previous years when gamers moved from one major release to the next. And now let us also consider the dramatic rise of things like Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, where you are essentially renting your games for a monthly fee. Game Pass has at least 35 million users as of 2024, and PlayStation Plus has 47 million users as of 2023. I'm aware that neither of those are Nintendo, but all of these together are scary facts. Let's put all this together. Young people aren't spending as much money on games. As the price of individual entry games increases, sales volume decreases. People are playing considerably more live service games than individual entry games, which is why Microsoft and Sony keep trying to sell us crap like Concord. If individual entry games do not move units or prove profitability, one path ahead becomes very, very clear. There's going to be a lot less of them. Yeah, we're looking at a reality where there won't be any more experimental games from big budget studios. New IPs that could be amazing just won't get made. Franchises that were beloved and could be obscure would cease to be continued. Or rather, and more importantly, the only games that would receive funding and production are ones that have zero creativity inside of them. Nothing new, nothing exciting. Just Call of Duty, Fortnite, and Mario Kart until Kingdom Come. Is this the video game crash everyone keeps talking about? Maybe. Maybe it is. And, well, maybe that would be a good thing. I'm not too sure myself. I often think that should the video game industry condense, all that's going to be left are the big swingers. All that's going to be left are Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony to develop and make all of the games. There won't be many other large third parties, even the more positive ones, to compete in the marketplace. And to be clear, I'm not shilling for anyone with these statements. I'm not saying that we should go out and buy AAA games to save the gaming industry. No, that would be absolutely ridiculous. I want it to crash, but I also want it to burn and explode and then implode and then be buried in a pile of pig feces only for it to be reanimated so we can stake it through the heart and burn its corpse like the vampiric nightmare that it is. Okay, well, what do we do with all this information? This video opened talking about Nintendo and the Nintendo Switch 2, right? Well, yeah, and unfortunately, by buying the Switch 2 and Mario Kart World at the record numbers it was sold, $80 games have been legitimized across the entire industry. So what are we supposed to do about that? Well, if you agree with me and you're upset about any of this that I've been talking about, I'm going to give you two logical conclusions to fight back. Number one is stop buying. Stop buying AAA games from companies that are taking advantage of you and do not live up to your self-interests or your perception of value. That's very hard to do, and it takes a bit of discipline and dedication. And perhaps you're not even there yet. Perhaps you're not nearly as angry about this as I am. So I'm going to ask you to try this instead. I want you to consider a threshold line of what these companies would have to do to piss you off to the point where you'll stop buying from them. What is that line? Define it. At what point will you care enough to stop buying? Whatever it is and whatever it takes, when those companies do cross that line, and they will, do it. Really. Stop buying. That's important. But there is one other option you can do in tandem with option number one. Support competition. Support indie games. You see, these companies are only as strong as their cash flow. If you stop buying, their cash flow goes away. If you then spend that money by supporting competition, those corporations will crumble and or start making the products that you actually want to buy again. Now, I don't really care about that part myself. I don't want those companies back. I want innovation. I want creativity back. I want stories from creators that actually make us feel something. I want games that I actually feel some kind of joy playing. And the AAA industry is not delivering on that. They won't deliver on it again, but indie developers are. And when I say support indie games, my comments are usually flooded with, well, Wizard, I don't know where to look. Well, I have the solution for that too. FakePortal.com is an upcoming forever free platform that I am self-funding to bridge the gap between indie games and gamers. This platform will be a hub for games developed by small and solo teams of creatives who want to share their games with the world. By the time most indie games are completed, their small budgets are empty. They have no money for marketing, and games that are incredible could just float out in the void forever with little to no one having experienced them. This is my solution. Build a platform to feature these games and link out to the storefronts where you can buy or download them. Fill the platform with exclusive and special content from the developers, and update the portal with games every single week. I've had conversations with developers all around the world who want to participate in this project and are giving their full support. And today, I'd like to invite you to. When this video is over, visit FakePortal.com and sign up for our newsletter, which is going to start going out on August 1st. My friends, there's a lot of channels that cover entertainment, controversy, and video game news every single day. And a common thread I find in almost all their videos is they don't give you anything actionable to do with all this negative information. There's a lot of negativity out there. There's a lot of negativity out in our world, but I do not believe in just sitting by anymore. I might be just a fake wizard, and obviously, I don't think I'm gonna make a dent on these mega corporations. I can't do anything on my own. Those corporate profits are gonna keep rolling in, but that doesn't mean I'm just gonna do nothing anymore, or sit idly by and watch the mediums that I love continue to be crushed into dust. I would encourage you to do the same, if you feel the same. Let's do something, man. Let's try. We can keep sitting around talking about how much we're being taken advantage of, or we can try to fight for it. For now, this is the best way I know how. And especially based on my interactions with the good folks that attended the Southeast Game Exchange, I feel even more resolute in my decisions to fight back. No one wants $80 video games. The best way to stop it is for buyers to wake up and take the market back. Until next time, create, innovate, inspire, and for the love of God, cancel Disney Plus.